Hello everyone. I think we should be streaming. Hopefully, just we're gonna do all the sound tests like we did earlier and make sure everything's all good. Jonas, would you like to quickly say something?
Hello. Test. How's the volume? Beep, boop, beep. I think I can make it maybe like this. Hello. Test.
I wonder if that might just sound as perfect. Ooh.
Green screen. Yeah. I mean, I'm always too lazy to put it down.
Yeah.
So it just keeps hanging there, which is probably a bit dangerous to just record everything in front of a green screen.
Yeah.
I'm a bit louder, chat says.
Alright, I'll turn myself up.
Beep boop. I mean, I can also turn me down a little bit again.
Turn you up.
There.
This is how it is for every single stream. It's just because everyone has
problem is
different microphones and stuff. So,
yeah.
And what people hear on the stream is always different to the recording too. It's weird. Like sometimes things will sound different because YouTube compresses audio and stuff. So I find it's best to just do it live because then who can say if it's good or not? Alright, things should be okay. I hope.
Yes, looks good.
Good. Okay. You ready for the intro? Okay.
Sure.
Actually start talking. Hello everyone and welcome to Indie Dev Chat, a live streamed weekly show where I talk to fellow developers. If you're watching this on the stream, you may ask us any questions you have and we'll try to answer them. Furthermore, if you're on a podcast platform, please check out Matt Ball on YouTube if you want the absolute full experience with face cams, chat replay, and more. Today I'm here with Jonas. Hello, Jonas.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you. Do you remember when we did that recording just before the end of last year, wasn't it? I did that. There was one thing I can't even remember actually. Was it you? I think it was you. I don't know. I remember you saying Happy New Year at one point, so it could just be me going crazy. But yes,
I can't remember. I'm not sure. Maybe.
Well, welcome to the show. It's great having you again. Third time, as we said earlier, and today we're going to be talking a bit about Joseph's video editing, his game, and maybe a bit about launching games as well. And yeah, again, if you want to ask questions, go ahead and ask them in the chat. So, how's all your Snell going? Has it been going okay?
Yeah, it's going well. Should I maybe give a little introduction for anybody who might not know me?
Yeah, go for it.
So the very short introduction is I'm a game developer and YouTuber, co-creator of Islanders. I've been studying game design in Berlin for a couple of years where I met a couple of cool people I made Islanders with, and now I'm doing solo game development and YouTube.
Yeah.
Very nice. And the game I'm working on at the moment is Will You Snail, and development is going good, but also very, very slowly, which is kind of frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How the colors going? Because I know you've been having troubles with
the colors. Oh yeah, I've been posting about that on Twitter.
I will say though, when you showed that you when you showed the update of the colors in the devlog with the updated looks and stuff, I did think it looked a lot snazzier. I suppose it looked really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, you definitely upped the quality of them. So there's that at least.
Okay, yeah, happy to hear that.
Yeah.
I'm still working on it. The problem is that whenever you try a new color scheme or whenever you try new colors, the new ones always look better than the old ones. So it's very, very hard to judge if you actually improved it or if you made it worse.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
oftentimes you just keep changing colors for hours and hours, and then in the end you're like,
what am I doing?
Damn it, this looks worse than what I had in the beginning. And it's just so frustrating. I had a couple of days this week where just felt like I got nothing done. I tried a couple of different backgrounds, and in the end, I actually decided to go with the one I had at the very beginning. So yeah,
Yeah.
maybe I'm also just getting a little too perfectionistic, because a lot of people, when I showed them the comparison between different backgrounds, a lot of them were just like, I can't even see the difference. It's just that I personally think that the look of a game is such an important
Oh
factor
yeah.
for selling and marketing the game, which is why I really want to get it right, which makes it even more frustrating if I can't, you know.
Yeah.
uh,
But I mean, at least in the end, though, it will pay off all this annoying editing of the colors, and yeah,
yeah, we'll see. We'll see. How's the visual development in your game going?
yeah,
Millions of minions, it's called, right?
yeah.
Yeah. How do you handle that in your
Uh,
game?
well, I mean, I just force all the art onto one person. You know, I just say, hey, you keep doing that. No, I don't know. Well, it's a bit of a you see, because I'm not really very smart with visual stuff, so I'll give these suggestions, and I'm here like, yeah, that sounds good, and then they're like,
Okay.
what are you doing? um,
Okay, so you're making the game in a team. How big is that team? Like, how many people are you?
yeah, so we got one other person that's like, there's me and another person doing the actual core development of the game, and then we've got a couple of musicians, and then a marketing person. So it's five of us.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah,
Not bad.
yeah.
And how is it going? Like, I'm hearing you're approaching launch.
Yeah.
What's happening in
I'm
development
getting
right now?
scared. No, it's going pretty well. I mean, like we're we finished the actual game now. Like in terms of the content, it's just a bunch of it's just polishing it up and making it so everything, goes together nicely. But yeah, no, because we've been doing it in early access since June, so like we sort of have been updating it over time, and we started off with two areas of the game in June, and we're working on our final area. So the other core person that's working on the other on everything else, he's working on the actual main game, whilst I'm working on the Xbox port, which is like a huge task and it hurts. Like it's a
Oh no.
it's a mammoth task. Yeah, porting to console on your own is quite difficult. Yeah.
Yikes.
It,
Why
it
would you even why would you even do that? Oh no.
well, I mean, I thought, well, to be fair, right, I didn't really think it would be as hard as it was. And I'm glad I've done it though, because I think
Okay.
it's paid off in a way. Like,
Oh, you actually got it working.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
we're probably
No,
about
not bad.
a month. I reckon a month, and then it'll be ready. So,
Okay, so what's still missing? You
uh,
have a development kit. Is it already running on Xbox?
yeah,
And now it just has to be approved, or
yeah.
how does the
So
process look like?
well, you make the game, obviously, like you have to sort of change it up so that it fits like these things called XRs, which is like the requirements for certification. And like then after you've done that, then you send it off to Xbox and then they say, "Hey, this isn't good, and this isn't good or whatever." Right now we haven't done certification just yet. Like we're probably about a week to 2 weeks away from our first.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, like right now, uh, there's a couple of for example, like the UI and stuff, like has to, you know, like let's say you're in game, right, and someone disconnects their controller and stuff like that. Like you have to have things like that where it's like if someone disconnects their controller, the game has to pause, and things like that. Like little things along the whole game, and you have to make sure it's
Okay.
all good. And like you need a title screen, in order to like initialize the actual user, and then you have to initialize cloud storage, and then
Like, how do you even test if the game works on Xbox?
yeah. So I've got two dev kits here, and
Oh, okay.
basically, like they sent them over to us, and all we do is have Unity, and they give you like another module, like an Xbox One module, like, and you use that like how you build to like PC and stuff like that. But instead you like use the IP address of the Xbox, and then the most annoying thing is you can't actually use the editor to test if like things work. So like
Oh,
let's say the cloud storage, yeah. You can't actually use the editor because it like the DLLs don't initialize on
oh no.
on the machine, so you have to build and run every single time you make a change. So like one line of code, and you have to wait
Oh
like
god. Oh, that sounds
I think it
horrible.
takes about 200 and something seconds each time to build, and then
Mm-hmm.
for that just for like one line of code, and then it doesn't work, and then you have to do it again. Yeah, but
Alrighty. Yeah, okay, that sounds very interesting. Definitely props for doing that. Congrats for getting into work.
yeah,
Yeah, but that's definitely good and interesting to know that maybe porting to other platforms like Xbox, PlayStation is not as much work as I thought it was.
yeah,
Like it's obviously a lot of work, but I mean, if you got it done in a month or something like
yeah. I
that,
mean,
it
I've
seems to be manageable at
been working
least.
on it for just above 60 days, I think. So it's like or
Okay.
about
No, okay, okay.
70 or 80 days or so, and that's like almost every day. So
Okay, so are you doing game development full time at the moment, or is
yeah,
doing on the side?
I've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is when like I have college, but other than that, I work full time. So it's still like treating it like a full time because
Okay, I see.
yeah. But yeah, it's a fun like even though it has caused me to be real like it really makes you annoyed at like the how long things take and then it doesn't work, like, but it is really I think the outcome's really quite fun. Like, just seeing like yesterday, I finally got like I got to a target that I really wanted to get to, and then like the euphoria you get after doing this Xbox stuff is it's more so than like any other of the development like process. Like it's just crazy. But yeah, like I've been doing both like the Xbox development and a little bit of the main game. So like I've been like doing a bit of the final boss, and then I've been doing Xbox, and then we have to like merge them and everything. Oh, it's
Oh no.
the reason I'm doing
Oh
it.
yeah, it sounds painful.
I think the reason I'm doing it is just because like I kind of want to just test my skills, because like every game I make, I want to sort of grow as much as I can. So like
Yeah, that explanation makes a lot of sense to me because I would have said investing that much time into porting your game to a different console sounds like a very risky move, especially if you don't even know how well it will sell
yeah,
on Steam in the first place. So definitely might be something that might or might not pay off, right?
yeah,
But in it at the very least it's a new experience. You've learned
yeah,
something, so that is something you're guaranteed to take with you.
exactly. And
Yeah.
like it's luckily we're in a position where it doesn't really matter if we were to fail it. So like I know some people, it's a bit more serious and stuff, but like luckily we're in a position where it doesn't really matter too much, and that's why I'm doing it now because like I I have the financial stability, so I might as well just I might as well try it, and then if it goes badly, then
Yeah,
it's
awesome.
fine. But it is quite entertaining, I suppose, sometimes. But yeah.
Yeah, chat is saying I'm taking over the stream. Yeah, I was just curious on how that entire Xbox stuff is working.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
But yeah. I mean, I'm curious how the AI in Will You Snell operates because I thought it was quite cool.
Yeah, a lot of people ask that question, and when I explain it, they're most of the time they're disappointed because there's really no machine learning involved. It's really just an
Yeah,
AI in the traditional sense that it has a prediction algorithm that just sees basically simulates your movement a couple of frames into the future and sees where you'll end up. And then, of course, I have this entire voice line system built on top of that, which altogether hopefully makes the AI feel somewhat intelligent.
yeah,
But of course, in the end, it's just an illusion.
Yeah.
I didn't build a. I'm not an AI researcher. I
Yeah.
don't know how to build these things.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
that's part of the thing with game development anyway. It's like cutting corners to to get a lot of things to work. Like that's part of part of the journey because yeah, chances of you actually knowing a lot of the stuff that you do is pretty slim, right? You know, when you first start it, you're not gonna have any idea. So yeah, but yeah,
Yeah, sure. It's just about picking up knowledge over the way as you go.
yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I really liked your what was it? With the toilets. I was I watched it.
Oh no.
I wasn't really sure what I was expecting. Like I don't know. What was the reason for for making infinite bathrooms?
Yeah, the reason was similar to your situation. I just wanted to learn something new. I've seen this cool wave function collapse algorithm a couple of times on Twitter, like in talks by Oskar Stahlberg,
Yeah.
and I found it really fascinating. So I wanted to try it out. Thought it might be good material for a YouTube video. So I just thought, okay, how can I? So what should I generate? What would make for a good video? And and eventually decided on bathrooms. And I feel like the wave function collapse algorithm probably has like one or two more videos left in it. I
Right.
just have to come up with the correct things to generate. Like somebody suggested generating an infinite IKEA or something like that. Um, I'm still working on ideas, but once I got something there, I'll probably make another one. Yeah.
Yeah, it was an interesting video. It, it was good. It was just I don't know like it's the weird thing about YouTube. It's like when you click on like a thumbnail like that says infinite bathrooms, you know, you sort of think, oh yeah, well I know what's probably gonna happen. You know, I'm like, okay, that's fine. But even when you think you know, you're like, what? Why would you think about it? But yeah, no, I find it entertaining either way. So
Yeah, okay. Happy to hear that. Yeah.
yeah, well, it was quite an interesting how how long was the video? It's like I don't remember.
I think it was 7 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, well, it's an interesting 7 minutes of my life watching infinite bathrooms being made. But yeah,
Yeah,
some
definitely something I've been struggling with lately, finding that balance between YouTube and game development
oh
because
yes.
both is taking too much time.
Mhm.
It's really tricky
Yeah,
balancing those two out.
yeah, it's really quite difficult. Like that, like back when I was I'm back to sort of doing devlogs again, sort of like I'm sort of like here and there. Like I'm wondering if I'm gonna.
Yeah, let me see what you've posted
Oh no,
lately.
I wouldn't. But yeah, like I'm planning on like posting like maybe every 2 weeks rather than every week, or maybe every 3 weeks. I don't know yet, but I do want to try and challenge my video editing a little bit because I want to try and expand on it a bit. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, devlogs for me have always like I did a video essay. That's sadly not on the channel. I might re-upload it actually. Um, but it's a video essay on like devlogs themselves, and like I talked about like
Mm-hmm.
the you know how like this was when was this February this year, so you know it was quite a long time ago, like, and you know I was saying how like the devlog community like was slowly like oversaturating, and like you know standing out is getting harder and harder sort of thing, and that's like the main sort of argument, and
Yeah.
you know like now like my predictions like because back then it wasn't actually that bad, like I'm saying bad as if it's a bad thing, but like you know like as in there wasn't a lot of devlogs, there was like a fair amount, but like you know now you search up devlog and you see thousands of results. I started doing YouTube December 2017. I don't know when it was. But either way, like I started doing it when there was literally nobody else. There was like, I think the only person who really did it was like Thin Matrix, and that was about it. And that's all you really saw. And but yeah, like it's sort of just like crazy how much it's expanded. I think like it's blown out of the water, and like that's what I think. Like the weekly devlogs aren't like, because a lot of people seem to be doing them now, and like I feel like now it's becoming less of a smart way of formulating your devlogs. Like, and it's a bit difficult to know really, because the YouTube algorithm, right? Like it says, hey, consistency is nice, but if you're like putting out one devlog a week, let's say, you've got to get all the content for game development, which already that takes up a lot of the time anyway. And then, let's say you do script your videos, because I know there are a lot of people that don't. You know, you've got to then write the script for it, and then you've got to edit it, and then by the time you're editing it, you've got like a day to edit it on like the Sunday or whatever. And I think it's something that a lot of people sort of get. I don't know. I think it's
Yeah,
just
I mean, uh, I think consistency is not as important as it used to. I feel like
yeah,
quality beats quantity on YouTube nowadays. So if you want to make devlogs or game dev content, I think the smartest strategy is to do less and do higher quality, because that makes it easier to stand out in the growing amount of game dev videos out there. And
yeah,
also, you need some time to do game development. Also,
yeah,
usually on YouTube, higher quality gives you exponential returns on your time investment.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's why I've slowly moved, or yeah, beginning of this year, I went from uploading weekly to uploading every 3 weeks. And I think it was 100% the correct decision for this channel.
yeah,
Now I'm thinking about moving to maybe uploading every 4 or 5 weeks, just so I can get Will You Snail done. And obviously, uploading less frequently means that you have more time for both, right? You have more time for videos
yeah,
and you have more time for game development. So
yeah,
if that even means you get more views, then it's a win-win-win. We'll
yeah,
we'll have to
exactly.
see how that
Yeah,
works out. But
yeah. I don't know. It's a weird juggling act. It definitely is, because right when you start, like when I started, consistency was the thing that everyone was saying. Like everyone was going for consistency. You had like Thin Matrix with his weekly devlogs, but and then there was a couple of others I can't really remember, but
consistency has advantages. One of the main advantages of consistency is that you just get better at it. Like you get more practice if you do it more often, and you learn faster if you do it more regularly. And the other thing is, of course, that it will probably positively impact the click-through rate of people who just watch your videos every week.
yeah,
So that makes things a little easier. But then, yeah,
yeah. It's
still
just it,
quality is still more important.
it's
There's
finding a
no way around it.
balance. Yeah, it's finding a balance
Yeah.
between quality and quantity. Like, because you can't do one or the other. Like that's the thing. Like you can't focus on one or the other. You have to like
Yeah,
do a
you can.
mix. Okay.
Like I think you can.
I
Like,
don't
okay,
know.
it depends. Like maybe if you upload once a year, okay, maybe that is not enough. But I would say
Yeah.
if you go like up to 12 uploads a year, uploading once a month, I would say you're
Yeah.
very far on the
But then
quality
but
side
then
of
isn't
things.
that still being consistent though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. You got me.
I don't know. Maybe I think it's a weird. YouTube's a weird thing, because like when you start, you have this certain outlook on like how you should be doing it, and then like as with anything, like you think you get better with it, and usually you would get better with it, but sometimes you're like, am I actually improving, or am I just doing the same thing as I was
Mm,
doing however many months ago? And
mm,
I think, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think now, like, game development is like becoming like the gaming community, like obviously not to the same like huge extent, but like it is becoming to that point where like you have videos that aren't as like good, I suppose, and then you have videos that are like outstanding, sort of thing, you know.
So you mean the game dev genre on YouTube is becoming more and more like the gaming genre on YouTube?
Yeah, yeah,
That's what you're trying to say.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I think it is. Like I think it's it's weird because you see challenge videos like they had this like surge in popularity for a long time. Like it was just everyone was doing challenge videos, and then like people sort of slowed down on challenge videos a bit, and then they're back to the weekly or bi-weekly or whatever it is videos. So it is interesting. I don't know. I feel like I've just sort of been like observing the YouTube scene, just like just watching it like pan
Yeah, it's
out.
very interesting.
Yeah.
It's also fascinating because there are a lot of very good channels emerging as well. I've seen you've had a lot of them on lately on your show,
Yeah.
like yeah, Rob Lang, etc., etc.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. It's that's what's so like sad about the game dev thing is like people that are
Mm.
really doing good are getting like shrouded by these weekly or bi-weekly devlogs. And
Oh,
I mean, I'm not necessarily sure if it is that. I think it's like I don't have anything against devlogs, so I can't really say that. But like I don't know.
I'm not sure. Like right there's that saying that the rising tide lifts all boats or something like that. And if there are more devlogs, that just means more people will watch devlogs. So in the end, might be good for everyone. You also have to look at it that way that
Yeah, that's true.
the game dev scene on YouTube will never become as big as the gaming scene,
Oh yeah,
right?
no, yeah.
There'll always be more people interested in consuming gaming content than game dev content, and that will also, yeah. I mean, there seems to be some catching up to do. A lot of game developers seem to realize that YouTube is a great opportunity to share your progress and get people interested in your game. So yeah, I agree. The space is getting more saturated. Whether that's a good or a bad thing, I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's too complicated.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it's a fun observation
It is.
nonetheless.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I find it quite interesting. Like I think it's quite a fun thing to talk about with others. You know, because I see Ollie said Rob Lang, etc. etc.
Let's add mashup games to the list, and
There we go. Boom.
now we have two. Mm.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Oh yeah, mashup games was on 1 week ago. Nice.
yeah, we've had a lot of people on the show. I kind of forget. Like I just, I realize actually I've had a lot of people. There's been I think it's something like 20, 25 something. Maybe I don't know. 25 unique guests have been on here, which is like pretty crazy. I don't know. I can't remember the exact number, but yeah, like
Not bad.
yeah, well, hopefully it continues. Well, I mean, I'm hoping to um, get someone with industry experience soon. So that would be quite an interesting like person to get in. Well, I was thinking actually getting someone from AAA in to sort of give a little bit of like a sprinkle of how it is in there, so people can give a comparison. Like obviously they're not indie developers, but like sort of just so people can sort of see how it would be like. And yeah, like I got contacted by the I can't remember who. I'm not sure if he's a lead. No, he's not a lead. He's an environment artist for Assassin's Creed. So hopefully,
Oh, nice.
Like for Valhalla. So hopefully we'll get him on here, and I think that would be quite insightful for
Yeah,
everyone.
that sounds very interesting.
Yeah.
There's basically a never-ending pool of people you could
Oh
interview.
yeah,
Right?
no. Well, that's
A
that's
lot of
the good thing about
fascinating aspects of game development.
yeah. Well, that's the good thing about the the saturation of of game dev on YouTube. I just sort of search it up and I'm like, oh, there we go. Yeah, and
Yeah, but I mean, you're not even just limited to just
Yeah, not
YouTubers, right?
YouTube.
You
Yeah,
can.
yeah. I could just go on Twitter and just sort of search around. And I'll probably find someone. But yeah,
I think so as well. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I really wanna try and get like I really want to try and get people with actual experience in here, like, because I've only really been focusing on YouTube people, which is sort of, it's a good thing because I can actually understand everything that they're talking about. But I feel like if I'm gonna get someone with industry experience, my brain would be like, whoa, I'm on a completely different level. I don't know. I haven't really spoken. I've spoken to one person with industry experience before, like in real life. So I guess we'll see. But I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting to get a couple of different perspectives. I agree.
Yeah.
Mashup Games in the comments says Danny's been great for devlogs, but it also resulted in a lot of people being nothing more than Danny copiers. Yeah, I mean, I've probably become a little bit of a
I
Danny
think
copier as
I
well.
think you've definitely got your own style. Uh.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like no, I definitely watch Danny's videos and I take a lot of inspiration from them. I see what works, what kind of videos work, and obviously he's one of the most successful game dev channels out
Yeah.
there at the moment. So it's only natural that people take inspiration from that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just it's important that you sprinkle in some of your own personality
Yeah.
and kind of
Yeah.
make it your own thing.
Yeah. No, I
I
agree. I
agree
think
to that.
I think people just, I think it's very easy to look at the person that's the best and just sort of go, yeah, I want to go that route, because it's just in everything. It's not just like game development. Like, I mean, it's just sort of, I don't know what the theory is, but it's something. I don't know. I've heard it before, but it is common for like people to just gravitate towards. Obviously he's the most popular person on the platform at the moment, so you are gonna copy off of them most likely. There's gonna be a lot of Danny copiers, yeah. Which is it. I don't know. I think it sort of became. There was definitely a phase where it was really bad. Like there was a phase where everyone was doing a Danny type video. But I think people are sort of getting their own styles a little bit now. Um, but yeah, I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I feel like the game dev community on YouTube, as you just said, is just something relatively new. I mean, it has been around for a long time, of course, but it's just
Yeah,
experiencing this boom of new
yeah,
content.
yeah, and also
So it will probably take people a while to figure out what works, what doesn't work, and I'm sure there will different branches and styles of content will emerge.
yeah,
Like I remember when I started making devlogs, the word devlog wasn't even that much of an established word
yeah,
yet,
yeah,
or not that I knew of.
yeah. It wasn't really
And
like when
only
I
over
was.
the last couple of years has it become one of the things where people know what a devlog is. No.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And I think going back to the Danny copiers, Danny's audience are young as well, and they're the we've seen, or the game dev scene has seen a huge influx of like young developers going on to the game dev train sort of thing. Like
Mm,
it's been a huge boom, and like I'm not sure if that's like just like either it has already been happening anyway, or like now it's because it's being more people are putting themselves out there than they were before, and like young people tend to put out a lot. Like back when gaming was a big thing, you had young people posting content all the time, and like I think it's just sort of
mm.
the same thing with game development. It's like young people being inspired by the likes of Danny, and they're young people, they're impressionable, so they are gonna most likely copy, at least initially, because that's what you do. So I don't know. Yeah. Ollie says, I think the game dev scene has just become a lot more personal. No longer are people only following these massive companies, they're also following the individuals that making the games. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that has been the big advantage of the indie scene for a long time anyway. So YouTube just really helps to play into that a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Devlog channels have evolved the same way as the gameplay scene. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, they're still evolving and they will keep evolving
Yeah.
into some very interesting things.
Oh, Rob has his first question. Rob's really good at asking
Oh.
questions. Is it fair to say that your YouTube is aimed at game devs? If so, how are you going to pivot your marketing for Will You Snail?
Yeah, I mean, my YouTube definitely seemed to be or was very focused on appealing to game developers.
Yeah.
And I don't agree to the notion that game developers are not your target audience. I feel like game developers, you have a very high chance that game developers are also gamers, so it's definitely not the stupidest thing in the world to market your game to other game developers.
Yeah.
I agree that only marketing to other game developers, maybe there could be a little bit of a problem because the market is just not that huge if you do it that way,
Yeah.
especially if you're looking for players who overlap with the target audience of your game. But for getting the initial amount of wish lists, getting that Steam algorithm boost, and getting those first day sales in, why not?
Yeah.
I
And I
don't
think
really see the problem.
yeah, I think
But
also
marketing will be interesting for sure. Yeah, I agree.
I think also with the devlog scene is that when indies are talking interacting with the other indies, like we tend to like to support each other quite a lot. It's like a huge family now, but like it's
Yeah,
still family like, right? Where like we like to support each other and like those people that support your content and channel will buy your game, right? That's and I think I don't know. It's hard to say really, but like because there used to be, well, it's still sort of existing, but it's less talked about now. It's like like you should be careful about just having YouTube is your only marketing thing. And yeah, whilst I would 100% agree, it shouldn't just be YouTube on its own because then again, if something happens to your YouTube channel or like something bad, then you lose everything, and there's no other avenues. So like having like Twitter in the background or Reddit as well is a good one, but like Reddit's more so for like I think Reddit's one of those things that's like it's really difficult to sort of like you can't have a consistent thing with Reddit. Like you post something amazing one day, you post another thing amazing one day. One of them will probably could do really well, but the other one could just completely flop. Like Reddit's like this like red herring sort of thing, I find.
yeah, definitely. I mean, the good thing I realized about marketing is that there are so many different ways to go about it, and there are the people who say you need to start building an audience right from the get-go. You need to start building a following, and I would say, yeah, that is a big advantage. But I was lucky enough to also experience the other side
Yeah.
of the coin. Do you say it that way? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But we made Islanders without any marketing during the development. Just one month before the game came out, we published a trailer, and it still worked out absolutely great. So I feel like that's just a nice thing to know, even if all of your development efforts fail during development, or if you don't even have any, you can still have a successful launch with a lot of people buying your game just fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so one of the main deciding factors nowadays, or one of the main deciding factors nowadays are how many people will buy your game on Steam, like how well does it convert on Steam. It's just like on YouTube, it's very algorithm based. Steam looks at the conversion rate, how many people click on your thumbnail on Steam, how many people of those people who clicked on the thumbnail thingy buy the game, and how satisfied are they. Do they leave positive reviews? Do they leave negative reviews? And then based on that, your game can either get a lot of recommendations or doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. I
that
agree.
is one thing to mind for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Scuffles asks, do you think most devlog creators are young people just interested in programming, or students and semi-experienced developers? I think the most, I don't know, devlogs in my opinion, it's just everyone really. Like, someone wants to get interested in game development and then they go ahead and do it, sort of thing. Like, I don't think there's really a huge number of one or the other. Like, I think it's just because we see more of them, then that's why we like sort of think it. Like, the younger people, like, as I said, there has been a boom in it, but that could just literally be because, like, that they're becoming more well known again. Like, that young people have a lot of an impact, a big impact on social media. So, I don't know. I already have no idea. I don't know if, like, there are more younger people on the platform or more older people or students or whatever. And I don't think there is really any way of knowing. So,
Mm. Yeah, I have no clue either.
since you've now experienced both working in a team and working solo, what would you say you prefer more?
Is that
I
question
think it could
directed
be
towards me?
it could be towards both of us, I suppose. Do you want to go first?
Okay. Okay, I'll answer it first. I prefer working in a team because working alone is just so infinitely slow and
I know,
painful,
yeah.
and you have to do everything yourself. And there are a lot of things you're not good at. If you have a team, then the likelihood that at least one team member is good at a certain task is a lot higher. So,
Yeah.
for example, my current art struggles in Will You Snail would be a lot smaller if I had the full Grizzly Games team working on the game. There
Yeah.
would be there's no question about it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, I would definitely agree. Teamwork, working in a team has been the best choice I made. Like, I couldn't go. I probably could go back, but, like, I wouldn't really want to. I don't think. I think, yeah, if, like, I mean, I don't know. Maybe in a year's time, I'll be like, actually, you know what? I'll do solo, make a game like what you've done, and then I don't know. I guess we'll see. I have no idea. Like, I do prefer working in a team though, because things are a lot easier to do, and you can get bigger projects done as well. Like, you can get things that, like, look really cool as well. If you're not an artist, you're like, oh, I'm struggling. But yeah, I don't know.
Not having a good artist in your team if you're not good at art is like one of the biggest problems when you work alone,
Yeah, yeah,
because that makes marketing so much more difficult.
yeah.
It's insane.
Well, I
Yeah.
think that's why Noah's done pretty alright. It's because his art's really good and his
Yep.
programming is pretty good. So I don't know. I think he's in a lucky, well, not lucky position, but you know what I mean. Like, he's in a better position than I would be if I went solo.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. And for some reason, he also seems to be very, very fast and efficient with making his games.
Yeah.
Like he just recently brought out Dashing Fire. Go buy it on Steam, by the way, if you haven't already. It's very good. Um, but it's crazy because it's his second game while I'm working on Will You Snail. Like he made this entire game in 1 year. At the beginning of 2020, started working on it. Now it's out. I've been working on Will You Snail for at least 2.5 years now. So I'm not sure how he does it, but
Yeah. I
he's
mean,
very fast. Yeah.
we're almost 14 months into development, so yeah, I don't know how he's mad. Props
Yeah,
to him though.
crazy.
He's great. Yeah.
Has anyone actually seen Noah's programming? I sort of have because I have worked in with or I have collaborated on game jams with him.
Yeah.
And I would say his programming is probably not as not on the same level as his art skills, but it's okay, He gets the things running in one way or another,
Yeah.
which is the most important part.
And Rob asks, how do you know when a game is complete? When do you stop polishing? Was it easier to stop Highlanders than it has been with Will You Snail? Ooh.
Stopping Islanders was very, very easy because we made that game at university where we had a very tight deadline, and having a tight deadline
Yeah.
always helps a lot. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I would. Yeah, that makes sense. Um, what else? Oh no, I
Lots of people say work on gameplay first, but I really disagree. Make a prototype, yes, but after that, and if you want to sell it, work and on art and marketing. Uh, Something by Chatterbox. Yeah, that's an interesting approach. I mean, what we did with Islanders was basically we made both gameplay prototypes as well as visual prototypes. And I feel like in terms of what the best practice is, that is probably one of the best things you can do.
yeah.
I didn't do it for Will You Snail, which is why I'm saying it's the best practice. It doesn't mean you have to do it. Because if you prototypes are about trying stuff out quickly. And the reason why you don't test graphics and gameplay in the same prototype is because at that point you're just building the game and you have all of the struggles that come with building a massive thing. Everything has to work together and it's a giant pain and it's very slow. But if you do separate gameplay and visual prototypes, you get the benefits of being able to work very, very fast
Yeah.
and being able to experiment quickly. And then in the development phase, you would just need to bring the two together. That was the way we did it in Islanders, right? Friedemann was working on visual prototypes. He built these very cool little 3D cities. At the beginning, 2D cities in Unity, in Engine.
Mm-hmm.
And I was making little things with with cubes that get proximity bonuses from placing them next to each other.
Yeah.
So that worked out really well. I would definitely recommend that approach.
Yeah. And as someone that like really likes programming and stuff, like prototyping is it's the easiest bit. oh what I'd long to do prototyping again sometime. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it depends on what you're prototyping, I suppose. Because if you're prototyping some like advanced algorithm, then maybe not. I might cry, but
Yeah, it really depends. And also, if I had to make art prototypes, it would be a struggle and it would be very frustrating.
oh, yeah, art prototypes for me would not work. Yeah, it would just look like a 2-year-old's just written it on paper. But I don't know. Games by Soul asks, where did you come up with the idea for Will You Snail, and why a snail?
Where did I come up with it? I don't know. Like someday I just want to make a silly little rage game, just a little mini game. And the notion was kind of, yeah, the crazier the better, because I like crazy stuff. And I think the internet in general also likes crazy stuff. So I just try to come up with something really crazy and unique that kind of stands out and is memorable. So
Yeah.
I went with a snail as a character.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that just stuck with me through development as the game got bigger and bigger and more feature creep started happening.
Yep.
That's sort of how it started. Yeah, but I feel like the initial idea was probably that AI that just spawns stuff in your way. I thought that was a fun rage game mechanic that I hadn't seen before.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what I started out with.
Yeah. That's sweet. I mean, I don't know. I think it's you went for crazy, and your devlogs definitely mimic it. So you
Mm.
succeeded.
Yeah, the being crazy seems like it's starting to become my
Brand.
unique selling point at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Your devlogs do at least make me laugh a lot. uh,
Yeah, happy to hear that.
yeah. Arman asks, have you improved on workflow? And if you did, how did you improve?
I mean, compared to Islanders, I think my workflow has gotten a lot worse, honestly. Just because when you work alone, you stop following all of the best practices. Like in your head, you know what all of the best practices
But
are,
you
but then
skip.
for some reason when you do it alone, you're like,
Yeah.
no, I don't want to do it that way now. I'll just get started with whatever.
Yeah, you'll cut
And that just
corners. You
yeah,
cut
yeah.
you cut
It,
a lot more
yeah.
corners when you're solo, I find. Because like when you're with a team, you have like a bit of an accountability. So
Mm,
like if you cut corners, people will notice. But if you cut corners and it's your own project, nobody's gonna know. So, I mean, I guess it depends on what you're doing, but yeah,
yeah.
it
I
is
mean, it takes a lot of discipline to stick to the game dev best practices if nobody's watching you and nobody's holding you accountable.
yeah, because you get
That
away
is
with it.
that is
So
yeah.
yeah, you don't have any reason not to do it, sort of thing. Really, that's the problem. But yeah. Um, question from Rob: have you given yourself a will you snail deadline?
2021. It has to come out next year. It has to. Like it just would no. Next year for sure.
2022 rolls up.
I mean, technically the game is done. The problem is just that there's still a lot of story stuff I would like to add. A lot of Easter eggs that are kind of high effort if I really want to put them in.
Yeah,
But I'm so in love with the game that I really kind of want to put them in. So
yeah.
yeah, we'll see.
Oh, we got a classic question from Rob. He asks this every single time. Assuming unlimited time and money, what would be your dream game to make?
Hmm. That's a very good question. Mm, I mean, it depends. Always depends on what games are out at that time. If we assume that I had unlimited money now, I think my dream game would probably a multiplayer game for sure. Maybe a multiplayer strategy game because that is something you can't make if you don't have a lot of resources.
Oh yeah.
I feel like that is one very beloved genre that doesn't really get enough love at the moment. So I
Oh
think I
yeah.
would probably do a multiplayer RTS
Yeah.
with potentially a bigger focus on co-op.
Mhm. Oh,
Yeah.
you know, if you had unlimited money, just that sounds like a good idea. Yeah, that'd be cool. I don't know. Yeah, it's just it would be nice to have unlimited time and money, but then at the same time, what would I actually be doing with my unlimited time and money? Like, I feel like I'd probably just sort of do a lot less game development than I would do, like just because.
Oh.
Well, I guess it would
Yeah.
depend. It would sort of depend, but I mean, unless I was only allowed to make a game with the money, then
Mm,
I
I
don't know.
mean, even if I were allowed to, even if I was allowed to do any whatever I want with the money, I would probably still keep making games.
Yeah, I probably would too, but like I probably have a lot more of a limit considering if you had unlimited time and like what does that even mean? Because like unlimited time, do I live forever? You know, finish a bunch of games and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go have a vacation somewhere, you know,
Okay, fair enough.
and have a game jam on a plane. Oh, that would be weird. That would be really strange. uh, Question from Nabraf. Does has Jonas thought of a Nintendo Switch port after the PC release?
Yeah, but I'll do it a little differently than you. I'll just see how well it does on
Yeah.
Steam, and then depending on that, I'll decide if it's worth it to port it to more platforms. And if I can, I will outsource it to somebody else so I don't have to do it. Because there are a lot of companies who are specialized
Yeah.
on porting games for you, and they usually take a revenue share, which I'm completely fine with if I get a free port, you know. So
Yeah.
we'll have to see.
Oh, I wish I went that route. I don't know. I think it's been fun either way. I've learnt a lot, so I don't
Yeah.
mind. Shadowbox asks, how many bags of sugar does Jonas inhale before every devlog recording session?
It's not a stupid question because I'm kind of addicted to sugar. That is true. So I feel like 7 bags are probably enough to make a normal Jonas devlog. But if you want to have craziness levels that are a little higher, then maybe 11 or 12 bags of sugar should do the trick.
All right, guys, you heard him. He expects his some of his subscribers to deliver them now.
Yes.
What would you do if like you just like someone like you just get a delivery and you're like, what's this? It's just sugar, just 12 bags of it addressed to Jonas.
Oh no.
uh, Skiffles asks, what's your favorite and least favorite parts of game development?
Good question. Favorite part is watching people play my games and hopefully having a good time with them. So I enjoy people enjoying my games.
Yeah, yeah,
That is the thing I enjoy the most about game development. The other way around, what do I enjoy least? Some of the tedious work, probably implementing UI stuff, trying to figure out things. No, maybe not that. I was about to say trying to figure out things I'm not good at, but I guess getting better at those things has some appeal in its own way. So
yeah.
probably the tedious, boring stuff, UI stuff, things that you do over and over again that for some reason haven't been automated by game engines yet, and you just spend hours and hours on boring stuff that seemingly doesn't get you anywhere.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's the most frustrating bit.
Another question from Rob. If someone said you're not allowed to do game development anymore, what would replace it?
Ooh, I like those questions.
I told you, his questions are.
Oh, mm, yeah, that's a very good question. Would I be allowed to? I'll probably try to do something different in the creative field. So I would probably go with making music, or I would make a little animated YouTube series, or no, something like that. Something creative for sure.
Yeah. I feel like I'd
Mm.
probably go with software. I'd like to make
Mm.
software. Like, right now I am doing software, like, as a form of, like, getting revenue. Um, and, like, I've been really enjoying that. So
Oh, okay, nice.
I'd probably go with that, I think. I don't know.
Oh,
I
that
guess it
sounds
would
good.
depend. I mean, he didn't say development is banned, so I'll go with another form of development.
No, I mean coding, developing stuff. Yeah, that is fun in general.
Yeah. All right.
I
Well,
think there's something satisfying about writing software as well, because you can have that same effect there where people can also enjoy your software or use it in ways that make the world a better place. So
yeah.
I see the appeal in that as well.
Yeah.
I
All right.
personally wouldn't want to do it though.
Yeah.
Not for me.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm doing an app for my dad and like for his business, and it's been quite fun. Like I've been learning a lot about my programming stuff.
Mm,
Like you
mm,
learn,
mm.
like it really puts your programming to the test because it's just pure programming, not in like an like not in engine sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm using it just an IDE and that's it. So it's quite cool. Um, and last question, or last two questions then, because we just got another one. What,
Alrighty.
what type of collab with other YouTubers would you want to do that isn't a game jam? Oh,
Oh, I feel like there are a lot of unexplored collaboration opportunities in the game dev space. I actually have a couple of ideas, but I feel like the opportunities honestly are almost limitless.
yeah,
So for example, one thing I would want to try out at some point is two game dev YouTubers both start a game and then send their game file over to the other one and the other person finishes it.
yeah.
That would be very interesting.
That would be an interesting thing.
Um,
Yeah,
or maybe even collabing on creating game content together where we have a little mini game and then a bunch of YouTubers all create their own level and then you have a cool little game where like 10 or something like that people have their own level in the game.
yeah.
Stuff like that. Yeah, I'm not sure if I can come up with more. on the fly, but there are so many opportunities in the game dev space.
Yeah, there
Pretty
definitely
insane.
is.
Yeah.
And Jeleko asks, if you would have gone into game dev later in life, what would be your background?
Huh.
What would, I don't know what I would be doing.
I mean, it was
Crying.
my plan to go to a film school for a long time. That was plan A for a very long time. So maybe I would be my background would have been a filmmaker. Maybe.
I have no
Yeah.
idea what. I probably would have been an author. I like writing books, so
Oh,
I probably would have gone down that
nice.
route. Yeah.
You still doing some writing on the side?
I'm trying to, yeah. There's a little thing in the works that's like taking forever because I have like about 40 minutes a week to work on it.
Okay.
But it's fun. Yeah.
Yeah, writing is one of the things where I think consistency does pay off. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If you're just making consistent progress,
Yeah.
you'll finish your book eventually.
Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Nice.
Jonas, it's been great having you on the podcast. I don't know how it's been an hour already. It sort of flew by. But yeah, I'm really excited to talk to you again in future. Maybe like we'll be getting close to Willy Snail releasing. I don't know, but yeah, hopefully we'll be in a podcast again soon. And yeah, it's been
Yeah, I'm very curious to see where millions of minions goes.
Yeah.
I'll definitely be watching.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was fun to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. All right. Bye everyone.